few weeks ago, I uploaded a video what I learned going to 52 card shows in 2021. I said if we hit 100 likes, I'd make it part two. You guys crushed that goal. There was over 200 likes in that video, so I decided to make number two. And here are a few more tips to help you guys out at your next card show. So my first advice is to always ask the dealer if they have more cards. See, there's only so much space on every table at a show. Sometimes the display case is full of great cards and the dealer has some cards put behind. Sometimes a dealer will have some PC cards that they really don't want to sell and they're leaving it behind the table. But if you ask them, they might be able to make a deal with you on those cards. So always ask a dealer if you find some inventory that you like, if they have additional cards, because often I found that dealers are going to be hiding some inventory, whether it's a space or they don't really want to sell it at that time. Tip number two, never pay sticker price. And this is something I learned from Mike, the baseball collector. See, dealers will always have a bit of room on their cards. If you ask to pay a little bit slightly under the sticker price, they're often going to agree. If you save yourself $5 every transaction and you make 5 to 10 transactions to a show, that's $25 to $50. Might not seem like a lot, but if you go to a lot of shows over the years, that adds up quickly. And on top of it, $25, you can find a nice PC card at a show. So make sure to always ask, because a dealer will have room on their sticker price. Worst case they can say is no. And guess what? You're going to buy the card anyways. Next advice is when you go and walk around a show, first look at the showcases before going into the dollar or bargain bins. Now, there are some exceptions for that, but here's the reason why. Most people aren't going to go and actually search the bargain bins. They're going to showcase shop going from dealer to dealer. These cards are the ones that are going to be picked out first at a show. So often you can find some of the best deals in the showcases. Now, why I say there's an exception. Let's say you're going around and you find a bargain bin that has some really unique cards. For example, for me, if I'm going through and I find some pre-war cards in a bargain bin, I'm going to go through that bargain bin because sometimes those will be cleared out pretty fast, especially if they haven't been picked over and it is fresh inventory. So walk around, look at the showcases first, but if you see a bargain bin that's too good to pass up, make sure you hit that bin because it'll get cleared right away. Now you should also be looking at the condition of a card. In the last video, I talked about authenticating both the card and the slab, but you also should kind of grade the card before you purchase it. Now there are exceptions if you buy a big bulk lot, but if you're only going to purchase a few cards and they are raw, make sure to inspect those cards. If there are modern cards, make sure there's not print lines or scratches on the surface, or also take a look at the edges and the corners of a card. If you're buying modern, it should be mint. Vintage is a whole different case, especially with older cards, 50s, 60s, or pre-war. Buy something that looks really good eye appeal wise. But the reason why I say that is there's been times I've been to shows, I bought a card, it looked good in the top loader, but I didn't really inspect the card, and it might be an expensive card, $100 or $200. I get home and then there's a scratch on the card or there's a ding corner that I didn't see. So if you're spending a lot of money on a raw card, make sure to evaluate the condition of it. My next tip involves social media. We saw how important social media is with sports cards. It's been growing quite a bit over the past few years. Well, if you're at a card show, you should start swapping social media with people, or also swapping business cards. If you don't have business cards, make sure to print them out. They're really cheap and you can start handing them out to shows, the people that you interact with, or deals. If you get a few followers every show, it slowly starts adding up. I know, as I said earlier, by saving $5 on a deal, it might not seem like a lot, but it's all numbers. The more deals that you happen to do throughout a year, the more followers you're going to slowly gain, and it is well worth it. Social media is super important in this hobby, whether it's for networking, buying, selling, or trading cards. I recommend either making a Twitter or Instagram. I actually use both of them. So if you guys don't follow me yet, make sure to follow Breakout Cards on Twitter or IG. Now, this next tip I learned from Dr. Beckett. When you're going through bargain bins at a show, bring a pencil and mark off the rows or the boxes that you go through. You don't want to continue to go through the same boxes over and over again because that wastes your time. So mark it off, and then you know next time you go to the show that you've already gone through this box. And the last tip is to bring the right supplies to a card show. You should be bringing some top loaders, plastic sleeves, and also maybe a magnetic case if you would like to use it. Sometimes dealers don't have cards in the best top loaders, or they're not using a penny sleeve when they're putting the card in there. So you want to make sure that you save the card, try to keep it in the best shape possible, because you know how important grading is within the hobby today. So make sure you bring some supplies. Smaller shows won't always have dealers that bring supplies with them to buy. Larger shows, you should be okay, because there are those dealers that come down and literally just sell supplies. There's limitless amount at the show, but the problem is it's expensive. So you are going to pay a premium on that. Also, I'd highly recommend that you bring a portable charger to a show. I really regret when I don't bring one because my phone will be dead at the end of the day. If you bring a portable charger, you're going to be able to charge your phone during the show. And with how everyone comps cards today on their phone, you are going to drain through that battery really, really fast. Hope you guys enjoyed these tips for part number 2. If you guys want to see a full recap of all 52 card shows that I attended last year, let's get this video to 250 likes. If we get 250 likes, I'll start editing that video.